I go to Ibrahima Diong, who's the Assistant Secretary General and Director General of the Africa Risk Capacity.
Very much, Rachel. I heard a lot about the supply side. I'm going to switch the conversation to talk about the demand side. Because that's what we bring to the table, particularly focusing on resilience building in Africa, where we talk about protecting the life and livelihood of many Africans. So to that, I want to make 3 points guided by 3 words: governance, priority, and leverage. On the governance side, what I'm hearing from our member states is what I call the AAA of climate finance. Is availability, accessibility, and affordability. Yes, we need to mobilize more resources, but the resources need to be available where they're needed in Africa. And I'm sure we can learn from previous fund, previous instrument, in making sure the procedures are such there's accessibility to this funding to where it's needed in Africa. On the priority side, based on our 10 years of experience in providing risk insurance to African governments, this is what they say. Number 1, any additional resources, existing resources, should be dedicated, number 1, to mainstreaming access to early warning systems. It's not about technicalities. They do save lives. Just to give an example, in Madagascar, the fact that we made early warning system available in tropical cyclone, the government was able to move 5,000 people away from harm's way because of the information available to them. So my call to action, building on the message of the Secretary General, how the additional resources from early warning systems could be made actually available so that we can actually mainstream early warning system across the African countries so that policymakers have what it takes to make informed decisions. Second, priorities. We've seen all over Africa, whenever there is a disaster, the lack of embedding disaster risk management within the policy making of our countries is such that countries are actually struggling to find ways in which to react. So contingency planning in African policy is something I think we can mainstream, and that's my second call to action. And then third, the insurance market has the ability in providing additional resources so that the early response is actually funded through the insurance market. The challenge in the insurance market is the availability of premium financing. So therefore, any additional resources to the loss and damage should make sure the premium finance is actually accessible to African countries to the extent that actually we can transfer the risk and save the life and livelihood. My big idea on the table, just to wrap up, all these 3 things are holistically connected. If the loss and damage fund can actually provide what I call an African climate preparedness and response, it will go a long way in understanding we cannot address one without the other. And I believe from what I heard so far in the room, we can multitask and making sure that we can protect the life and livelihood of Africans. That will be my point. Thank you, Rachel.